My name is Tom. I am 56 and my soon-to-be ex-wife and friends with benefits woman Susan. She is 50. It was a wonderful Sunday morning that she opened her mouth to ruin our marriage. We need to talk, Tom. Sure. Go ahead, my love. The kids have left and there is nothing left in my life. Me being the person I am, I told her. Yes, there is nothing to do, let's have sex. She cringed and waved her hands. She then dropped a bomb. I want to go out and explore my life. No one will hire you for a proper job at your age. You can still opt to be an old age model if you want. I can put some calls for you. I jokingly said, no, I want to date other people. She shot back. I was silent. So, in short, you want to cheat on me. It's not cheating if you are informed ahead of time. You were right, but that would still be breaking our vows and committing a sin, I added. I am serious. So better put off your jokes, she shouted. I went silent. I have never thought of getting in bed with anyone else other than you. Not that I did not have the opportunity. I chose my wife over everyone else. I spoke. It was her turn to be silent, but not for long. Tonight, I'll be going out on a date and you will not stop me. Only you can stop yourself. I can just remind you that you have a husband who has been here for you ever since he married you 12 years ago. The pain in my voice was evident. I walked out of the room. As she stated, she went out. That night, I just drank an entire bottle of Jack Daniel and got wasted. Next morning, she was all smiles and I was a wreck. She came up and stated that she has met someone. His name is Clive. I walked out to the bathroom and puked in the toilet. My bitch of a wife came running and asked if I am fine. Yes, my love, I am just puking out the remaining love I had for you down the toilet. I washed my face and went to lay down on my bed. Susan, this will be the last time. Please reconsider your choices and don't walk the path that may lead us to a lot of pain. He is better than you in bed, has a great job, a great body, and under no circumstances I will let go of him. In case you want to divorce me, fine, be ready for the streets. I will wipe you clean, so take it or leave it. She came up to me and stated that everything that is happening will be great for our marriage and will help in the long run. Long run my ass. You just ruined your marriage by getting into another man's bed. I just closed my eyes and just lay there. We are planning to meet tonight, so live with it. She walked out of the room. That evening she dressed to kill and went out, waved me by and drove out. I was there alone and broken. I limped back to my room, opened my safe and took out my sig pistol. I held it to my head and closed my eyes. After struggling for 5 minutes, I was drenched and breathing heavy. I looked up and started at the mirror beside my bed. I saw a defeated man. Is that you, Tom? I asked myself. I held the pistol to the mirror and whispered bang. I went to bed. Next morning was different. My bitch of a wife was not home yet. I cooked a good breakfast, had my coffee, and went to the nearest gym and enrolled myself. I returned after 2 hours to find my bitch of a wife at home, asleep in our bed. I decided not to wake her up and went to the bathroom, took a bath. I picked my fishing gear, took a 6-pack cans of beer and went out near the river to fish. The gears in my mind were constantly moving in order to come up with a plan to punish my wife. I thought about drowning her in the river, blowing up her car with her, even planned to strangle her in her sleep. Rejected all the plans. 12 years of marriage is not worth lifetime in the prison. Divorce will be costly. I don't want to give her any money in alimony or settlements. I decide to just wait, observe, and act. I decided that I will be moving out of the house, but I did not want her to live there as well. A few days passed. I slept in the same bed as my bitch of a wife. I refused to have sex with her. Just around Christmas, she came up and said that she will be spending the Christmas with Clive and will be out for the weekend. Why don't you go out for the entire week? She looked at me. How will you spend the Christmas? She asked. I told her that maybe I'll find someone like you have found someone. She was happy and gave me a hug. I felt disgusted and pretended to be happy. She left in the morning and I enacted my plan. Since she had no interest in what was happening to her house, she had no clue that the house was in the market to be put on rent. That same day that she left, I had closed the deal with the new tenants. Since I hold the deed to the house, I did not need my wife to sign anywhere. I had rented a condo in the heart of the city with an exquisite view. A week later, when my bitch of a wife came back, she was in for a big shock. Her house was gone. She was on the street. I had asked the new tenants to give her my address. Soon enough, she was at my door. "Why did you rent our house?" she screamed. "The house has no meaning. Look at this condo, all new and all smart. You can live here for one night and then go back to Clive. What do you mean?" "I mean that you guys should enjoy and spend more time with each other." I also told her that the entire rent from our house goes to pay for this condo. She stayed the night and left in the morning. Time to deal with Clive. I had to make a few phone calls and found out about his job and his family. I did not want to ruin his family. I just wanted to wreck him. A few more phone calls and I made sure that he will be out of his job in the next 3 months. I installed a dating app and started my new life. So now my wife will be here with me only one day of the week, and rest of the week I can enjoy my life. No divorce, no alimony, and I can still use my bitch of a wife for sex. 3 months later, she was back at the condo and was looking visibly upset. "Talk away, sweetheart." I smiled back at my wife of 12 years. "You know I'm always here for you." "It's not good enough, Tom," she went on, frowning at me. "It's not working out as I expected. I'm not happy." "But you've got what you wanted, haven't you, Susan?" I pointed out to her. "It was you who told me in no uncertain terms that you wouldn't give your lover up, and that you intended to keep on seeing him. Take it or leave it, you told me. Take it or leave it." "I know," she mumbled, looking very unhappy. "But I just didn't expect you to agree so easily," I thought. Oh, damn it. I didn't know what I thought. "You were quite clear at the time, Susan," I reminded her. "I recall the conversation like it was yesterday. I've been seeing, as you described it, that bastard Clive since last Christmas. He's been making me feel things I haven't felt in a long time, and I'm planning to spend this weekend and the weekends to come with him." "Not better, just different," Susan grunted, unable to meet my glare. "I really meant that we'd carry on more or less as usual, but I'd spend my weekends, or at least some of them, at Clive's place." "Fucking him," I interjected. "Well, yes," she whined, wringing her hands together. "But that would be all, and the rest of the time I'd be living with you like normal." "So," I agreed. I grinned at her. "Take it or leave," or you said, so I didn't have an option. So now what's the problem? It was just supposed to be weekends, Tom. So I was generous, sweetheart. I relished telling her. You wanted weekends and I gave you most of the week as well. You didn't complain at the time. You didn't tell me at the time, Susan claimed, quite correctly as it happened. I went on that 2-week holiday with Clive, and when I came back, you'd rented our house out and moved into this swish apartment. Yes, fabulous, isn't it? I smiled graciously, admiring the view out of the picture windows of the city vista and the river winding its way off into the distance. I'd quite carefully explained to Susan on several occasions that all the rent from our house only just covered the rent on my new abode. "But I only get to stay here one night a week, Tom," Susan sobbed. "It's just not as I imagined it." "You don't enjoy the sex, Susan?" I demanded, putting on my very best look of disappointment. "Of course, I do, honey," she gushed. "It's better than it ever was, and you know it. Clive just doesn't seem to be able to cut it anymore since he lost his job and got beaten up that night. It's just not enough." "Oh, he got beaten up. I'm not sure why would anyone do that to him. That's awful, sweetheart." I rushed to console her, screwing my wife and walking away without a scratch. That does not happen, I thought to myself. If you need another night with me, then I could always ask Jane if she could give Wednesdays a miss from time to time. That's not what I damn well want, Tom. "Well, how about Fridays then?" I offered. "Mary could swap with Nikki maybe, or perhaps double up with her." "I don't just want Fridays for God's sake, Tom." My wife cried between her sobs. "I want you back. Karen's going back to college next week, Susan. I carried on regardless, trying to find a solution to our little problem. Would Saturday afternoons be any better? For God's sake, Tom, you're my husband. I love you and want you back full time. Just give me the chance to prove it to you. You've heard my offer, Susan, I answered solemnly. Now that we're more friends with benefits rather than a married couple, I really and truly enjoy sleeping with you once a week or so, and it makes a pleasant change from the younger girls who I've been seeing since you left. But you've heard my offer, and that's all I've got to say except for one thing. What's that, honey? Susan asked, looking up at me hopefully with a beaming smile. Take it or leave it. I grinned at her. Take it or leave it.